Aloha, gang, and welcome to the kickoff of Aloha Friday. I'm so happy. Yes, are you guys happy it's Aloha Friday too? Yes, this one's sitting here scratching at me like, please let me up, mommy. Please let me up. Okay, let me get them their treats. Hello, gang. How are y'all? Yeah, is this what you want? Yeah. And, oh my gosh. Yeah, I had the last minute. I was like, okay, their favorite thing, these, came in the mail on Wednesday. Would you guys calm down, please? No, yeah, exactly. A little smart aleck here. And they're like, I want. Okay, Cassie, Pia, and little old Wrigley. Wrigley, come here. Nope, this one's yours, little doofus. He's my little doofus. Cassie's the one who you look in her eyes and you can see her thinking. She thinks everything through. Pia is the caregiver. Pia takes care of course, she's their mom too, so of course. And then you get to Wrigley, who literally, you pick him up and he just looks. And that's all he does, other than bark. He does bark. Oops, sorry, hitting my computer. So welcome. Aloha, gang. I hope you're doing good today. I just noticed something's off here. Let's see there. Whatever. Ooh, that girl's cutting fabric. Oh my God, I gotta do so much. We just found out my friend got into one of the conventions over in Texas. Oh, I forget where it was now, but it's down south. Mads is here. Mads is gonna be she's got a birthday coming up. Everyone wish my niece Mads an awesome happy birthday. I mean, I've been having fun watching her her Facebook the last few days. She's been having, yeah, everyone, happy birthday. Okay, gang, I'm sorry. I got to do this. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mads. Happy birthday to you. Mwah. Love you, my dear. Love you. And I hope you have an awesome one tomorrow. I mean, come on. A Saturday birthday. That's the best. That is the best. Thank you guys for giving her happy birthday wishes. So, hau'olilaha now, my dear. And so, who we all got in chat today? We had AJ popped in first. Our dear AJ first. And hello, Pat. How you doing? And then we had B, and I've been talking with B, and yeah, I love your name. I don't think I have ever told you that, but I've always loved your name when I see it pop up. And I don't know why at first I would see that at peace and it didn't connect until I said it all together. I'm like, ooh, I like. And then the bushes pop by. Hello. And then, yeah, that girl, I was kind of hitting on that. Where is it that he's going to be going on to? Oh, he's just sent me a picture. Oh, she got nose piercing. Okay, I'll have to look at that, my dear. I'll get back to you on that one. Ooh, I can't wait to look at that one closer. And I wish I did. Oh my God, and I like that lipstick color, girl. Oh my God, that looks great. And let's see. So where is the convention my friend just got? Oh, Galveston, Texas. And it's in November, and he's like, oh my God, we have like 3 different conventions in 1 month. 3 weeks, something like that. So God knows how we're going to do more sewing. We got a lot of sewing to do. But happy birthday again, Mads. And let's see. Okay, BC's here. Hey, BC. Hey. So, okay, here we go. We've got a subject. Let me pull up my banner so I know what I'm talking about, because otherwise God knows if I'll know what I'm talking about. Second of all, get vitamins in. Some of you guys knew Wednesday I wasn't feeling too great, and the last few days I've been like, oh, but I'm starting to pick up now, so that's good. Just in time for Friday. So today, what I want to do is talk again about social media. We've done a lot of talking about social media here recently. Toxic people, okay, how to deal with friends, okay, friendships ending, things like that. I kind of wanted to go back to something. We talked about this before, and I wanted to kind of go in from a slightly different angle this time on just how social media affects our friendships, our relationships. How do we develop the boundaries with them? Not sure about you guys, but I deal with this a hell of a lot. And it goes back and forth between, say, me and my mom. Sometimes I'm totally putting way too much time into social media. Other times it's her. Okay, so we both, okay, I'll be like, gosh, you're always on social media. And then all of a sudden she'll turn around, she'll say it to me other times. And then I realize we're both way too much on social media. And as I started looking into this at what the average time per day people are on social media, I started realizing we got some issues here. I'm definitely, and I think a lot of us who are watching this right now probably do fall into this. I asked initially, we had a poll up above, how many of you guys have had social media cause an issue, or technology in general cause an issue with a relationship? Okay, I know that's something that a lot of us who do channels run into, creators, people who hang out in chats, things like that. We run into this quite often, where you're maybe doing content as a creator, you're doing content and your family members get frustrated because they want the attention with them. Okay, how many times I've been sitting here on a panel and I'm talking with you guys or chatting in a chat room or something, and my mom walks in and starts talking to me. I'm like, Mom, I'm busy right now. I'm busy. And it does lead to issues. And it's something I think more and more of us are dealing with every day. Hey, Boots, how you doing, my dear? Mwah. How you doing, my dear? And there's a lot going with it. And by the way, Boots, you and I still need to get together on that one subject. I've been sick as a dog all week, so I'm just starting to get back into things today. And also that's why I'm drinking my vitamins. So, but social media is here to stay. Okay, guys, okay, I think social media it's not going to disappear. Technology is not going to disappear. Okay, TV may disappear because it's all on technology now, but we don't have like the TV from back in the 80s and 90s when you'd sit and watch. Friday night was the Dukes of Hazzard. This was this night. This was that. Everything's changing, and we have to be willing to look at how it's affecting our lives. Okay, yeah, exactly. By the way, hi, Tim. And yeah, you've had a lot of issues on, so you can watch a few lives just to find out. Exactly. So, and I know I haven't lately because I've really been, since coming back from Texas, I've been really trying to focus on spending some time with my mom every night, if I can. Where it used to be, I would hang out in here all night long. It was all, okay, as soon as I was done with work, I'd come sit down and I'd be sitting there until I went to bed. And sometimes while I was in bed, I'd be sitting there on YouTube. So we've got to look at those. So let me come here. Social media. Oh, hey, Aussie True Crime. Hello, my beautiful one. How you doing? And my Aussies are coming out. It's getting to that time of day, ain't it? Yep, it sure is. So social media. One of the things I found very interesting, when I went into this, I thought social media has been just going up, and it has, yes. But interestingly, during the years of COVID, it actually leveled out. Okay, here, I'm going to pull this up right now so you can kind of see some of the social media stuff. Okay, we're going to talk about a little bit more, but average time spent in a lifetime right now. Each one of us, hey, JP, and each one of us is expected to use 8 years, 4 months of our life on social media. Okay, no, whoa, sorry, 6 years, 8 months. I had the wrong one. Now, this is interesting here. Okay, that TV and social media, I think those are almost we're getting some very weird lines being drawn here. But when you start looking at this, and actually where I wanted to pull it to next is right now we're spending 147 minutes a day on social media. Okay, I wanted to pull up 3 of the main ones for most of us here. There's other ones you can check. This is all information from in the last 2 years or so. And basically 147 minutes a day, 6 years, 8 months in a lifetime of social media. What's interesting in this is that in the last year, I mentioned during COVID, it kind of stayed very level. In the last year, we went up 2 minutes. Now, that doesn't seem like much, but if you consider the fact that for 3 or 4 years, we were very leveled out at, 145 minutes a day. And then all of a sudden in 22, so far this year, we're 2 minutes more. Something is starting to happen here again. It was different from what I expect. I thought COVID was going to send our numbers through the roof. And yes, our numbers were, but they've been very level also. And so some of the things I wanted to show, and this kind of waked up my mind to it. I looked at that YouTube. Okay, daily amount of time spent on YouTube for most people is 19 minutes. I'm lucky if I spend less than that watching one video. Not sure about you guys. Okay, I'm definitely much higher on YouTube than I am, say, Twitter. For example, I'm not a Twitter person myself. Instagram, yes. But once you start adding these up, okay, this is just 3 different platforms. And we're already seeing here how the average person is spending over an hour and 20 minutes, something. Okay, I'm 22, something like that. Just on these 3 things. I don't know. Hey, Elizabeth, how you doing, my dear? I don't know how many here. Let me pull this down so we can kind of get back to stuff. I'm not sure how many of you guys remember back in the early cell phone years. Okay. How many of you got your first cell phone in the 80s or 90s? Put a 1 in chat if you're a part of the original group of cell phone people. Put a 2 in chat if you're more like in the 2000s. Because I'd like to see what's going on here with this. Because I remember I was one of the earlier ones. Okay, we got our ones popping up here now, a couple ones coming in. I remember I was addicted to my phone. I carried my phone. I carried my beeper around everywhere. I mean, I loved my technology. I still love my technology like crazy. And I would go to dinners with friends or family. Okay, my sister-in-law with her kids was like no phone at the table. And that was so weird for me because I was always on my phone getting always. Now, of course, I was older. I ran my own rules. Okay, so you were an analog, Elizabeth, analog. Oh my gosh, that sounds like a song. That sounds like a song right there. So people would ask, okay, was your cell phone the main focus of your life? Was technology? And I would say no, because I was focused on work. But looking back, I was definitely, I would carry around 2 phones. I had my work phone. I had my cell phone of my own. And then I actually had an emergency phone for the emergency operations center for healthcare. Okay, let me just leave it there. It does sound like a song. It does. Sorry. So, a lot of us came into the idea social media was great. It was a great way for us to connect with each other. And now all of a sudden we get into all these fights. Put a 1 in chat if you have ever gotten in a fight with someone else over your use of social media. Put a 2 if you have never gotten in a fight in your life about your use. I'm checking our poll. We're at 79% right there, which kind of surprises me because I was thinking a lot of us do actually get in fights at one time or another. I do all the time. Okay, so see, some of us have the boundaries in place on how to work with this. Some of us, I've talked with friends of mine who may have been having major issues where they were talking about divorce because of use of the internet. Okay, use of playing games. Okay, I'm a World of Warcraft player. And trust me, oh my gosh, I used to get home. Okay, I'd get home at 6:30, and I'd be on WoW until I fell asleep. Okay, and on the weekends, it'd pretty much be the whole weekend. Okay, WoW basically became my life. And I think what's happened now is when we had COVID, a lot of that changed. So first of all, let me ask, is social media bad? Okay. Hey, Jet's mom, how you doing? And I'd like to say it's based off of how we use it. Social media can be one of the most amazing things out there for us. It can truly help us. But it also can be very damaging to what we're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. It could be adding to mental health issues that we're having. Hey, PJ. Yeah, and I think the breaks are important. I've been sick the last few days, so I did my normal lives, but I haven't been in chats and stuff as much. Actually, I haven't been in chats as much as I used to be pretty much now for the last month or so now. And I'm finding that as much as social media was wonderful for me, it was also holding back certain parts of my life. So, where does it help us? Well, it's amazing for education. How many times have you heard the stories of someone who is sick? Maybe they've been diagnosed with a new illness or something. The first thing you do is you go online and you check out Dr. Google. Find out what Google has to say. Okay, when my mom was diagnosed with ovarian cancer, she went into Facebook and started getting into Facebook groups dealing with ovarian cancer. How did they treat it? What about that? I did the same thing when I had my PEs, my pulmonary embolisms. Okay, I joined groups so that I could hear what other people had been through. So it's amazing for education. Now, anyone who's ever been in healthcare knows how that also has a negative side, where people become, okay, they get their MD, okay, based off of Google all of a sudden, and they know more than anyone else. And also, again, it's how you use it, okay, what you're using it for. It's wonderful for creativity. I used to sit and read fan fiction. I loved reading fan fiction. Okay, I loved Harry Potter, and I would read fan fiction stories, okay, instead of books. Who needs to buy a book? I could download them and read them for free. It was awesome. And so we were using things that way. And I think for some of us, we found a balance then. And the way I was seeing it, we got hit with COVID. And this is just my own feeling, gang. And let me know if you guys think, I'd love to hear if you guys think differently on this. I think COVID kind of made our relationships with technology and social media and all even more so. Now, the current generations are teenagers, not as much for them because they were already using it but our ages, okay, COVID, we were locked at home. Jets Mom, exactly. It's why I had followed YouTube for years. Anyone checks out when my channel was created, you're going to notice I've been around for years. I was not in a chat room until COVID. That was the first time. I started following a case online, and next thing you knew, I was totally involved on YouTube. I was creating friendships on YouTube. I was doing all my socialization on YouTube. And I think so much of that is because of the fact that we needed that outlet. And social media gave it to us. It may have started off by giving us a place to go and talk with our family and friends. We had COVID going on and we could not talk with, remember your birthday during the COVID years? You could not, I hit 50 in COVID and I could not go out with my friends. Those people who had family members, okay, celebrate birthdays or pass away or things like that. So many things, it pulled us together. I remember playing on Steam and stuff like that with friends that I normally would have played games with on Saturday. We were playing online. So it gave us that. And then I found these locations. Sorry, Cassie is acting up. And COVID also allowed us to start using the internet more and more for work. How many of us ever had heard about how it was possible to truly work from home? Okay, we kind of left a time frame that we had to drive into work. We couldn't all of a sudden. So employers were having to look at ways to have us use social media, internet, technology to do work from home. Many people are still doing work from home. Okay. Out of my friends, I'd say 70% of them are still working from home because of what internet and social media did during COVID times. And I'm checking here. It was so strange at first, Jet's mom, but you're a domestic diva. I love working. My business is, yeah, and that's it. It's a lot of people now are going back and trying to figure out, what do I do now? Do I go back to the same field that I wanted? Do I create my own business? How do I want to work? COVID, and that on its own would be an amazing subject for us to look at someday. How did COVID change the way we think on a daily basis now? Because there has been so much. And, JP, I love you, my dear. And it also, and this is where things started developing. And we started, you're on reinvention at 50. Jet's mom, exactly. I've been in a reinvention mode myself. And I'm still trying to figure out where I want to go. That's my problem. And but that push, and it's hard. It takes a lot of energy out of you. That's actually be a good subject too someday. One of the things that social media during COVID did was it introduced us to rabbit holes. Okay. These rabbit holes where, because we were spending so much time on the internet, oh no, AJ, okay, love you, my dear. And because of all the things we were doing and stuff like that, we started finding ourselves going down the rabbit holes of not just information, ACL, okay, and education, but also socialization. We as humans, we have to socialize. We do our best when we're talking with other people. Even if you're an introvert, there's still that part of you that needs that back and forth with other people. So, and that's where I found the rabbit hole of YouTube. Okay. It wasn't just watching YouTube videos anymore. Okay. It was actually talking with friends, making friends. Okay. Introducing myself to new channels and new people and all sorts of other things. And with that, I found I could be on it all day long, where if you go out with your friends, you're limited by time. Okay. At a certain point, you got to go home. You got to drive home. But when you're sitting on social media like this, you can be picking up your phone every couple minutes. Oh, there's a new messenger. Got to reply to that. Oh, wow. There's a Facebook update. Let me check that. So it's always going. There's never any stop. I remember my mom years ago when we had phones. Okay. She would actually, if I was talking with her or something like that and a phone call came in, she would let it go to voicemail. Now she'll stop me and my discussion just so she can answer the phone. Changes in how we approach things and what we consider normal for dealing with people through our technology now. And it's creating new addictions, okay, from gaming, streaming, posting. Okay, this fear of missing out that so many of us get now. Okay, just this morning, I woke up and it seemed like 3 or 4 different things were going on YouTube all at once. And I was like, oh my gosh, what did I miss? Okay, this fear of I'm missing, because the world became, in a weird way, as it was becoming smaller because we were here in our house, it was becoming bigger because we were meeting people. Okay, some of them were close friends. Some of them were just giving hearts and thumbs ups and all. But our circle was getting bigger. And with that, it's harder to stay in touch with all that at the same time. And you have to at some point be able to say to yourself, okay, I am trying to stay in touch as much as I can, and I'm sorry if I'm not able to. And that's part of what's going on with this. So the key for us is approaching social media from 2 different points. One, balance. Okay, we used to talk about work-life, home balance. Okay, job, family balance. No. Okay, now we've got to add in social media also. How do we find this balance between all of this? And also mindfulness of how it affects other people, how it affects us. Because it's so easy for us all to forget about how it hurts or affects other people. because we get so involved. And how many of your guys, the people that you live with, usually they know your friends and the people you hang out with and all because you're in the same circles. But because of YouTube, because of Facebook, because of Twitter, they don't know each other's, okay? Your husband or wife may not know the people you're hanging out with now for the first time ever. And that kind of brings some divisions because it used to be at least you could talk about those circles that you were part of. And now that you don't have that, it's even more. And oh my God, Jet's mom, my mom loves when half of what I talk about on YouTube, but the other side, she's like, oh my God, she hates that it hurts me so much. Okay, because she sees when it hurts me, when I get upset because a friend of mine's hurting or something like that. Okay, she gets worried. My friends are like, oh my God, you guys are nuts over there because they don't understand what our circle is like. And that pulls in different things for us. In the end, we are social creatures. Okay, no matter what, I am a major introvert. I'm a major introvert. If I stop talking for a few days, it's usually I'm either sick or I just need distance for a few days because I am totally way farther than I should be on my emotion. Okay. It pulls energy out of me to be around people. It just does. And, but social connections also do positive things. They help defeat feelings of isolation. If you think about it, you come onto YouTube and what do you feel like that first time you say hi in chat and someone says hi back to you? Feels good, yeah? All of a sudden you've gone from being one person sitting in a room, okay, yeah, you may have kids screaming in another room or something, but it's just kind of you, to you've got people who are saying hi to you. You're not alone anymore. So it's fighting that isolation. It helps us with stress. We can vent. We can, a lot of us find we can be much more open and say a lot of things that we would normally not say in person. We can say them here on YouTube or on Facebook or anywhere else that we might go, Reddit, whatever. And then just through that, anxiety, it helps with anxiety. It helps with depression and all that. But any of us who've been here have also seen how all of those things, yes, can be very much true. But at some point, it becomes negative for us. Okay. How many times has YouTube caused me anxiety and stress? Oh boy, quite a few. Okay. So while it helps, it also can hurt. Hey, here she goes. And so as you're going through this, some of the things you're going to want to do is just ask yourself a bunch of questions. Number one, how do you feel when you're online? Okay, really, how do you feel? When you get offline, that's usually how I can tell when I need to develop a boundary versus I don't need to develop a boundary, is because I've asked myself, how do I feel as I'm logging off of this live? Or how do I feel after I've gotten off of that DM? Okay, that's when I can say to myself, oh, I feel amazing. I feel energized right now and all that. And then I'm like, okay, this is more of what I need in my life. But other times I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to pull every bit of hair out of my head right now. And then I'm like, okay, something's wrong here. Where is it? And I've got to go back and look at what it is that's leading me to that. Because that's telling me right there, I need a boundary covered. There's something going on here that I need to address so that it doesn't continue to get worse and worse. Because many people here are empaths. Many of us are people who are dealing, okay, we're here because we feel very comfortable talking. And sometimes that's because we don't feel normally as comfortable talking out there. And so there's new skills that we're trying to develop or things like that. Our brains deal with social media in, to some degree, very much like addictions, okay? When we come onto social media, you go to Facebook, and you've written some sort of update in Facebook and you get back on and you see these hearts and you're getting tons of hearts from people or stuff like that, your body, your brain releases dopamine. Okay, for those of you who don't know, dopamine is that feel-good hormone. Okay, that all of a sudden you get, it's the same exact hormone that you get if you go to Vegas and you gamble and you hit it big. It's that same exact hormone. And that's where we can run into problems where things get overboard. Because our body, when we get a release of dopamine, we like that. We want more of that. We like that feeling. Okay, we don't like the negative feelings, but we definitely like this other feeling. So we'll continue pushing and going back for it more and more and more. And over time, that's what happens when we talk about the addictions. Okay, I'm sorry, YouTube can become an addiction. I truly believe it. Oh, I don't mind going to Vegas at all, Jets Mom, at all. I've got a plan for that at some point. I got to start working on that plan, actually. So, and Jets Mom, I think you've got a comment here that makes sense, and I think we all go through that. Jets Mom made the comment, something has shifted. I don't enjoy YouTube as much anymore. I'm not sure why, but I get more anxiety these days. And I think that's a good point. We all reach that. And it's not that the thing itself isn't bad. It's just your connection to things. And you may find yourself going back to it at some point, but you're needing the break. Something has you've listened to your brain. How do you feel when you're there? Is the anxiety that you're getting worth the dopamine release when you get it on the other side of it? All those things, you start recognizing that and you make the decision that now I need to take a break from this. I need to take a break. It's like me in stage managing. I adore, oh my gosh, I love to stage manage. Love it. Okay, but there are times when I do 5 or 6 shows in a row and all that I get to the point where I'm like, okay, as much of an amazing thing as this is, you can get too much of a good thing and it becomes a negative thing. And you need to take the break. And that's what I did. And now I'm going to be doing another show coming up in the next month or so. But I took the break and I got the energy back. So I wasn't focused on the things that were just pulling me down as much. And I'm happy I did do that. So how does social media affect our relationships? Okay, some of you guys out there have significant others. Some of you guys out there have family or friends, not necessarily a romantic relationship, but you have relationships. Okay, it could be like in my case, I have my mom and I. Okay, I have friends that mean the world to me. Okay, out here. Okay, we all have those things. So how do social media, technology, all these things affect our relationships? Well, all A, no problem, B, love you, and thanks for popping in, love you. And a lot of us, when we start dealing with relationships and social media, relationships really honestly take work. They don't just happen. We all know that, yeah? You can't just automatically say, okay, I've got a new boyfriend, I have a new girlfriend, and everything's going to do okay on its own because we love each other. No, they take work. They take time. And when we are focused so much on technology, on social media and those things, we are pulling away from that time. We say that we can multitask. Okay. However, multitasking, okay, there's been studies showing that when someone multitasks, they actually are they're doing 30% less of the work that they would have if they weren't multitasking. We don't do well multitasking. We can say we do, but we don't. We don't do as quality of a job of anything when we are. Think about how many times you've been having a discussion with friends, okay, and you're on the phone as you're, oh yeah, yeah, no. Oh yeah, I think we should go see the movie the other day. And oh yeah, no, 7:00's okay with, we do these things. We can multitask. However, the person on that other side, we are taking away from our relationship with them by doing that. And that's part of the thing that starts. Also, some people will use social media and other types of things as a way to avoid real life. Okay. People would say this a lot. Okay. When their significant other would come home from work, and the first thing they do is sit down in front of their computer and they go on to chat rooms, or they go into play World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy or something like that. And they are escaping into social media. They're using that to stay away from something. What is it? They know. They're the only, or they may not know, actually. They may not know why it is that it's affecting them to that degree. Okay. There may be something going on in the relationship, and it's easier for them to kind of focus on other things than talk with someone to figure out what it is. So it becomes a way of hiding from what is going on in their lives and what needs to be worked on. And let me give them all another chewy. And but what about ourselves? Okay, so it's really easy to understand how social media can affect others in our relationships. Okay, but how is it affecting ourselves? And this is the part where a lot of times, if we look at it, we start seeing things that we don't necessarily want to accept. But you can see it when you really open up your eyes to it. The first is getting into this compare and despair trap, this trap of comparing and despairing. Say you're a Twitter user and you are going on and you're always looking at how other people's, you're the mom of the house and you want to run the perfect household and have the best, decorations and stuff and make the best lunches for your kids, things like that. And you're always on social media and you're seeing all of these other people and you're comparing yourself to them all the time. Okay. Oh my gosh, look at that meal. It's not only that lunch for their kids. It's not only cute and something the kids are going to want, but look how healthy it is and how easy it would have been to make. And, or you look at their houses, you see all these, people out there who show how you can clean your house and stuff like that. And you're like, oh my God, look at my place, right? Oh my God. So you get into this thing of compare and despair. We as humans tend to be harder on ourselves than other people are on us usually, okay? I think most of us are that way. So you get yourself into this and you start creating a sense of inferiority, okay, and inadequacy, okay? You start questioning yourself. You can't measure up to other people as much. It doesn't matter that all of us know down deep that what most people are showing us on YouTube or on Facebook or Twitter or something is that perfect version. Okay. How many of us would love to go on camera, but don't want to go because, I got to put on makeup first, maybe, or I have to do, or what if my house isn't clean behind me, or things like that. Okay. There's been sometimes I've gone on without makeup and I've been really pissed at myself about it. And I start getting on my case about it. And I'm like, who the hell cares? But I do care. Okay. So we're always we're always comparing ourselves to everyone else. The next is that fear of missing out. Okay. We hear about FOMO all the time. Okay. This fear that if we're not online, okay, if we get home at 6:00 and we're not checking our emails by 6:02, we're going to miss something big time. Okay. I get this all the fucking I swear, because of where I live, okay, and my sleep schedule and stuff like that, I miss a lot of good lives that I want to be there for. I've been missing Sleuth Mom's lives, which is killing me. I'm missing her lives all the time lately because I'm sleeping during that time. I miss Robbie's lives. I miss all these lives, and it kills me because I'm like, oh my gosh, everyone's talking in chat. Yeah, I can watch the replay, but I want to be in chat talking with everyone. I want to be part of it. I want to be there. Okay, this fear that what am I missing if I'm not there at that time? And that is something that becomes bigger and bigger of an issue over time. We get more and more concerned about it over time. Isolation. Okay. This is weird, but I've seen it. How many of you guys have ever been on social media and yet felt more alone and isolated than you did before you were on social media? I'd really be interested in seeing that because you think social media is going to give you all of this community out there, even when you are in the community and you're actively participating. But what's starting to come out, okay, University of Pennsylvania did a study where they found high usages of Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, all those things, okay, can increase your sense of loneliness. Okay. For some reason, it's doing the opposite many times. And I started thinking about this myself, and I started realizing, yeah, there are times I'll come into a chat and I'll feel like, even though these are friends of mine that I care about, I still, for some reason, feel kind of off on the edge, maybe because I don't know what they're talking about at that time. And that's when our brain starts playing the games with us and stuff like that. It also... Okay, it's important for us to have the relationships with the 3D relationships. Okay, a lot of times we find ourselves having a choice. We start making a choice between, okay, oh, it's Friday night. Do I do Cantina or do I go out with my friends? Okay, or oh, it's Tuesday and so-and-so is going to do this live, which is going to be so much fun. I want to be there and all that, but my friends. So you start getting to these things. Having that time where you can be with your friends is more important and fights that isolation more than anything. Think about during COVID. How many of you guys actually still kept in touch with your friends, your IRL friends? We use that word IRL friends. And you started meeting up with them via Zoom. We were doing Zoom parties. I actually was doing Zoom tea parties. We were having a blast. We were trying to keep in touch as friends. But it didn't feel the same, if that makes sense. We were doing the same thing we all do. Okay, we were connecting with each other. We were talking on Messenger all the time. We were doing all those things. But then that day came when COVID lockdown restrictions went away and you were able to meet everyone up in person for the first time. And oh my God, yeah, Elizabeth, being an introvert made COVID so much easier to handle. Yeah, my friends that were extroverts, I felt horrible for them because they really had it rough. But I'll never forget that first time I got to see these people that I used to hang out with all the time face to face. There's something about that face-to-face, in-person meeting that social media has not quite figured out how to match with. It's looking people in the eyes when you talk. It's being able to touch them, even if it's just putting your hand on their shoulders. I'm a hugger. Okay, for me, it's giving them hugs, things like that. So isolation in social media does start. Okay, over time, you can find yourself when the more and more social media you're adding on, the more lonely and isolated you begin to feel. The next is the one we know so well here in YouTube land, and that is dealing with cyberbullying, trolls, drama, all that crap. Okay, This is one of the areas that not much we really need to explain with this grouping. Okay. The longer you're with social media, the more social media is part of your life. Okay. The more you're having to deal with cyberbullying. Okay. With drama, trolls. Yeah. Why? Well, I think partially most people feel a lot more comfortable saying things and doing things online that they would never even think about doing in person. They would never, ever consider saying certain things to people in person, but they feel comfortable doing it on Twitter or YouTube or Facebook or stuff like that. And over time, the more you hear those things, okay, the more you are finding out not only is it affecting, okay, that negative feeling you feel inside of yourself, but do you find yourself maybe even participating in it? It becomes easier to participate in. It might even start affecting your real life. What about that relationship you have at home? Do you find yourself with a shorter temper for people in your real life because you would normally have that short of a temper with someone online? So those are some of the ways it actually does start affecting, okay, what's going on with our own friendships and all. Let's see, sorry. And then last is the one we all know about. Okay, the more we're on, we get this unhealthy self-absorption. Okay, how many people who go post picture after picture after picture of themselves on Facebook, or they have to let everyone know how wonderful they are, or stuff like that. And so they're posting all these pictures and all because they need to, okay, we're always looking for that validation. Okay, and we know we can get it easily on social media. And the more we get it, the more we ask for it because it feels good. It feels good. And then, again, the same thing. I know, I hate pictures of me out there. Trust me, I'm the same way. Okay, but when someone does say, oh, wow, you look great there and all that, and then so you push for the next, and then they push for the next, and they push for the next. And then you can get to the thing where you start expecting that same type of thing in your real life discussion. Okay, where there's this imaginary heart over each of our heads, and we're expecting, okay, our significant other to click that heart every single time they come near us or every day. And that was never what our relationship was like to begin with. But our way we live online is how we're expecting our real life to now be acting. So a lot of different things that can go on with that. So acknowledging it, moving forward, what are the different things that we could look at with this? Well, bunch of questions. I'm going to approach this from the point of questions. Okay, and each of you are going to have your own answers. You can put them in chat. You can put them in your head. You could do whatever you want to with these questions. But this is going to show you a lot about just where you are with the social media and technology need for boundaries. Okay, and what you can do, because it'll also help show you where you need to focus. Some of these might be bigger issues for some people than others. And the way they deal with it is going to be based off of where they have the biggest issues. So the first is, okay, what drives your social media use? So sitting back and asking yourself, why am I using social media so much? Sorry, I'm going to get a dog here. Okay, why am I on YouTube all the time? Why am I on Facebook or Instagram or whatever? And each of us have different reasons. And we may have multiple reasons, to be honest. Okay, for some reason on me, it's the advocacy part. I want to get the word out about missing people. It's something that I care about. Okay, the mental health stuff, all these things. So there's that. It's an education thing for me. It's a sharing and education. For some people, okay, it becomes a running away. There have been times that I was using, for example, World of Warcraft as a way where I didn't have to focus on what was going on in real life. Okay, or boredom. How many of us use social media just to deal with boredom in our lives? Okay, so each of those is going to give you a different idea on what's going on and how you could address it. Because if it's a boredom issue and you're realizing it's become an issue, then you're looking at, well, how can I deal with finding other things to keep me busy? If it's something to do with fear, okay, what are you scared of? Are you scared of spending time with your significant other? Are you scared of having to address something with work? Is it fear of having to address something in yourself? What are those things? Next, are you ever without your phone or other piece of technology? Is there ever a time that you don't have this next to, and I did not put this here just to put it here. It is here with me all the time. Okay. I will get up from this spot and I will walk to use the bathroom. What goes with me? Not the dogs, not papers, not something there. This goes with me to the bathroom. Okay, it's with me all the time. Hey, Catch Grennan's Justice Family. Now, there's another story that needs told more. And so how often are you without your phone? Okay, can you put your phone down? Can you put YouTube away for a while? Can you watch a movie with your family and not have your iPad on at the same time? Questions. Do you have rules or boundaries involving social media or technology use? This was an interesting one for me. I don't have any rules involving it. Should I? Probably. I remember the rules that my sister-in-law had with her kids. Okay, and it was crazy because I have 3 nieces. One is blood, the other 2 are from marriage. And her kids were like, nope, no phones allowed at the table whatsoever. Yet my niece, her house did not live with that rule. So we had 2 sets of rules going on. And it does show what is normal, because the whole thing we're looking at here is not necessarily, is it bad or is it good? It's what has become normal. What have we normalized? And are we okay with that being normal? Is it okay for it to be normal for me to be on the phone as I'm talking to my best friend about plans for next week? Okay, and I'm not looking at my calendar. Okay, I'm looking at Twitter or something like that. Is that normal? And is that okay? Next, is your phone out at the table? I just mentioned that on that last one. Is it okay for you to be on your phone at dinner? What if you go to a restaurant? Okay, $30 a plate restaurant. Or has it become normal for you to sit there while everyone's at their table and you to be checking things out? How many of us take a picture of our food first? My camera has to eat before I eat. And it's funny, but it's life. Okay, and all these things started as fun things, but are they leading us in a different direction that we need to look at for ourselves? Has it become socially acceptable? This goes along with what I was saying earlier. Is it socially acceptable for you to have your phone out while talking with family and friends? Okay, I know how pissed I get when my mom, I'm talking to my mom or watching a movie and she is sitting there on her phone. And then later on, I ask her a question. She's like, oh, no, I don't remember that. I'm like, yeah, if you would listen. And but I know I've done just as bad. I do it all the time. I'm always on my phone. And even at night, I go to bed and I'm on my iPad until I finally fall asleep. Usually YouTube on TV as I'm falling asleep. That's usually it. Is your phone or other, which leads into this, is your phone or other technology in the bedroom with you? There have been enough studies showing that having our phone or any technology in your bedroom while you're sleeping is not good. it does not leave us in a rested place. Hey, Downtown Wonder, by the way, the lights going off affect us. Okay. Even with me, I have sleep mode set on mine. And, but I have it in the room mainly because I used to have a job where I used to be on call 24/7, and I've never gotten that out of my brain. And, but I will always be checking. If I hear a noise, I'm like, oh, did someone just text me or something? Because I do also have the emergencies of, I have it set up, where, and I think we're going to, yeah, here, turning on your notifications. Okay. I turn off my notifications, and that's important for all of us. Do you turn off your notifications? For those of you who have, sorry, I bet you my mom's home. And for those of you who have children, or like in my case, I've got my brother and my mom to deal with, and dogs. And I've set up certain emergency contacts. So if someone calls me and I'm in do not disturb mode, only those two people can get through to me. So you can do things like that. A lot of people are like, no, I've got to have my phone with me, because if my 17-year-old is out at a party and needs me to come pick them up, I need to know that I need to go pick them up. And that's a valid reason for having your phone near you. And, but you can set that up with emergency contacts, so you're still not being woken up with every single update that comes through. Because I don't know about you guys, I have so many times when I know someone's going to, for example, go live with something. Okay, I will wake up and be like, oh, should I go turn it on right now? I know they're live right now, but oh gosh, it's like 5 a.m. No. So I have to tell myself, no, don't do it. But it's in my head, and and I'm not getting a good night's sleep at that point, because my mind is focused on that. Boots, exactly. You turn on do not disturb when you go to bed. Only emergency contacts can reach you. And that makes such a big difference. Big difference if you can set that up. And if anyone has questions on how, let us know. We can help you with that. So, and that's actually one of the things I was going to get with setting boundaries. So, but okay, let me just change that. So that's setting social media boundaries. So that's your first one. Turn off your notifications and all that. Next. Thanks, Cash. And understand that relationships cannot be multitasked. Okay. I mentioned a few minutes ago that studies have shown that when people multitask, they tend to do 30% worse of a job than if they had just done it full force. They're not as focused on things. If you're trying to I used to watch TV while doing my homework, while checking messages from a friend or stuff like that. You're not completely focused. So if you're working on a relationship and that relationship matters, then multitasking is only going to hurt it in the end. You're not giving that relationship all of the focus and energy that you could be giving it. Yes, it's tempting. You want to share this with this and do this. And oh my gosh, there's a new game that I want to play. And if I don't get onto it every so often, I'll lose out on the freebies that you get or whatever it is. But the person that you're trying to spend time with is missing out on that time. So spending that time totally with them, not partially, but totally. Do you have a home base for your phone? This was something I thought interesting because, like I said, my phone is in my hand everywhere. And this dog is getting ready to push her buttons right now. Yes, get over here, Cassie. And, okay, instead, have a home base. You walk in the house and you just go ahead and you put your phone in this one area. You know your phone is there. So if there's ever a problem, you can get to it. No problem. Hey, Flash. Thank you so much. I'll go check that afterwards for sure. For sure. And thank you. And Okay, guys, come here. I'll give you more treats. And so you go to the phone. You leave that phone there. If you need to get to the phone, you get up and you walk there to the phone. I remember when I was working on a diet at one time, and I was talking to a nutritionist, and I always would like to go to Starbucks and get a latte. And she used to tell me, okay, park a little further away and walk for your latte. It's okay, you can get the latte, but walk from the opposite side of where you would normally park. And it works out that way. Cassie, come here. Come here, baby girl. Okay, here. Oh, come on over here. She won't come. She's too smart. Okay, have a tech-free bedroom. This one's an important one for all of us, okay? We don't need to have our phones on in the bedroom. Sorry. Okay, here. You are in my hands where I can keep you under control now. And have somewhere, okay, I understand some of us have to have the phones in our room. I understand that. I have to. My mom could fall in the middle of the night, okay, and I need to know she's there. It frustrates me beyond all get out usually because the only people who can text through to me is my mom and my brother, and they will wake up way before I wake up and be texting each other, and I'm getting this ding, ding, ding. And I'm like, guys, don't text the family group until a certain time. But I understand some of us have to have our phones with us. Do those things like setting up your notification. Okay, turn off all notifications, set up emergency contacts, things like that. Okay, put your phone this way so if a light goes off, it's not going off and waking you up. Okay, do what you can to have a tech-free bedroom. Okay, don't go to sleep watching YouTube. I know that's hard to do. Some of us, once we get used to it, I do turn it off. I watch it, and then right as I'm getting ready to go to sleep, I turn it off. And but try to do those things. Next, create family technology agreements. Okay. Most of us probably remember growing up in a household with TV where we were told, okay, you're only allowed so many hours of TV. You can't watch TV until after you finish your homework. Okay. Or, okay, TV was limited to 2 hours or whatever it was. Create those. And you know what? They're not just for your child. They're for you also. Okay. Have tech-free zones. The dinner table. Okay. The bathroom, maybe. No. That's hard. You got to read something when you're in there. And, but have these things set up. If it's just you and your significant other, talk about those types of things. Okay. Where are you allowed to use phones or be on YouTube or do this or do that? And where are you not? When? Answer all those questions. The next is more for keeping from having fights start. And that's practice comments that you might make. Because like I said, not only am I guilty of all this stuff, there are times that I'm pissed off and I'm mad at my mom for doing it. And I'll go to her and I usually will say something that actually starts a fight because I'll be real pissy about it when I'm talking about it. So practice these tech-free comments that you might say, okay, in a way that won't be triggering the other person. Won't be. It's kind of like when you're talking with someone and having an argument, you're not wanting to point the finger. You want to use I comments rather than you. It's the same thing here. You don't want to be upsetting that person. So practice some of those comments. Okay. It could be telling someone that, you know what, I'm trying to take a break from social media right now. I understand you're using it, but could you perhaps maybe use it when I'm not around or in another room or something like that, just as a way to help me as I'm trying to do this. So finding ways that you can say things on that level. Practice listening with your eyes and ears. Okay. And maybe even use, I liked that word when I found it, the comment, eyes and ears. How many times you're talking with someone and they say, oh, 1 second, can you listen to me? I've got something I wanted to mention. And you're like, oh, okay. And you're listening. Oh, no, I'm listening. I'm listening to you. Go ahead. And let them know and let yourself know. It's not enough just to do this. How much of conversation is body language? Okay. How important do we look to other people? Does it look like we care about them when they're asking us to listen to them and we're doing this as, oh yeah, I'm listening. We're not giving them the sign that they matter in that moment. Now, I'm not saying there aren't times that you do need to have time for yourself to do social media. That's part of that technology agreement. Okay, that, yeah, I'm going to have a couple these times that I just need to do this, especially if you're someone who has you're a content creator or you have a good group of friends here on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, wherever. And because you got to put energy into those friendships also. And in the end, technology is here. Social media is here. Like I said, last year, we have increased how much we are watching social media and technology by 2 minutes every day. So it's increasing. Okay, we're having new ways of recognizing social media. It's going to continue doing these things. So what we need to find out is what is it that we feel is normal, what we are willing to accept. And whatever we're willing to accept for others, we need to accept with ourselves. We can't say, you have to listen to me 100%, but I can do whatever I want. No, it's a give and take, people. We got to do that. That's what it's about. So as we go around, I went a little over an hour, a little bit over an hour. So what are your takeaways for the day, other than the fact that this one's being way too noisy, right? Are you being noisy? I know with me, my takeaway today, for those of you who are new here, usually what I do at this point is if anyone has a takeaway that they want to add into chat or into the comments, if you're watching this on the replay, and I do have a couple people who do that. What is your takeaway? For me, I like this one thing here. Practice listening with your eyes and ears. I never even, it's just the wording of that made such a difference to me. Okay, I know that it's important to look at people. Eye contact's extremely important, but I guess having those words there of practice listening with your eyes and ears just did something to me. Hey, Oscar. So over the next week, do those things. Just try to figure out ways. Okay, what has become normal for you? Do you have normal behaviors that you're not happy with, that you want to change? How are you going to go about doing that? Oscar needs to work on public speaking. Okay, we can work on that during Cantina, my dear, for sure. Everything I said, thank you. And there's, you know what, this is something, a lot of this stuff is stuff that I think most of us know. I know it was with me, but it didn't mean I was doing it. And it's stuff I need to address. I need to look at in my own life and how I can put it into play. So for the rest of everyone, oh, we have become cyborgs by design of the system tech. Good one. And it is true, though. We are becoming more and more focused on a place that does not require the niceties as much. Okay, where we can say things without really thinking. We forget about the person on the other end. And we can't do that in real life. We can't. People need to have others care about them, want to give them the time also. Okay, and remember, like I said earlier, remember that one thing. Remember that first time you got to see your friend in person, how different it was from when you were just doing everything by DM and Zoom and all that other stuff. And there goes the dog. And you turn into the Incredible Hulk when the spelling trolls point out, yes, Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. We all get into these things. So if anyone, hey, no problem, Elizabeth. You know what? My personal thought is sometimes I know people start listening and they get so into listening, they're not focused on typing, and that's fine too. So this dog is driving me crazy right now. So, but for those of you who are around here all the time, you guys know what's coming up next. Cassie, come here. We are going to be moving on to Cantina in 50 minutes and counting. So I will be, for those of you who've never been here, Casey, come here. And Cantina is just a place we hang out for around 2 hours and just enjoy, relax. And love you, my dear. I miss you, girl. And yeah. I know a lot of you guys got weird hours compared to me out here in Hawaii. And see, I got to figure, she's barking at something over here. I wish you guys could see it because there's something she eats there. So I got to figure out what it is. So I will post everything about Cantina in the next 10 minutes. And I'll see you guys at the top of the hour. And we're going into October. So you know what? I hope Cristola's going to be there. Yeah, Cristola has been doing some amazing stuff with her videos lately. She's been doing some really cool things. And the conspiracy one was great. So I'm going to deal with this little noisy dog. Little noisy dog, yes. And so I will see you guys later. See you in 49 minutes. Aloha. And talk to you. Let me know, by the way, no, stop it. I lied. I'm not getting off right now. Please let me know if you guys have any other ideas of things you would like to talk about. We are going into domestic violence, this domestic violence month, awareness month. So I will be doing some videos on that. But if people have any ideas, please let me know at the localmylife@gmail.com. Oscar, I'll send you Cristola's because I need to shut this dog up real quick before he drives everyone crazy. And so I'll let you know, Oscar. And I'll share her channel on Cantina tonight for sure. Love y'all tons. Aloha.